I'm going to begin, Tyler, by asking, I mean, you played baseball at university.
I did.
So when you saw this screenplay, you must have just thought, well, this one's quite perfect.
Yeah, just a little bit. This was definitely one of those dream jobs that usually you don't get, and just happened to work out this time.
But did you base the character on anybody in particular that you kind of knew? Not that you need to name names,
Yeah.
or any kind of certain experiences on kind of things that you felt at the time?
Yeah. I think I actually talked to my brother about this when I got this job and this character, because we both played with guys kind of like this. I think McReynolds ended up being very much his own person. But we knew guys who were just that guy, just incredibly talented and knew it and wasn't afraid to embrace it and just kind of live in that entitlement. So it was definitely fun to kind of be able to play with that. I was never the best player on my college team, that's for sure. So it was fun to kind of, be able to kind of tap into that for a little bit.
Because McReynolds is extremely competitive. Are
Yes,
you
he is.
you that competitive in real life?
I am. I try not to throw things and I try not to hit myself, but I do want to do those things when I lose. It's unhealthy.
And am I right in thinking that a lot of you guys stayed together prior to the shoot?
Yeah.
I mean, what was that kind of experience like? Because you do get such a genuine sense that everybody in this film is such good friends. I mean, was that kind of born out of those experiences?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it was 3 weeks of, spending morning through night together. We stayed in a bunkhouse, and so you would wake up, everybody would have breakfast together. We'd spend our entire day together, working, whether it was reading through the script, baseball practice, dance rehearsals, things like that, playing games, and just kind of bonding. And then you find relationships and things, and that was a great thing too, is that at night when we kind of had like our free time, our free time was sitting around a picnic table, kind of discussing the script and characters and things like that. And different people would kind of let out more of their personality and things like that, and we'd find things that kind of meshed, and it was definitely something that was born out of that time.
So you guys all sort of keeping in touch. I like the idea of you all meeting up and just hanging out in character.
Oh God, yeah. It's a little bit, I mean, because some of us, I feel like Wyatt Russell, who plays Willoughby, said a great thing once. He was like, I feel like all of us kind of took about 5% of ourselves and played it to 100% as these characters. And I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it. So there's a pieces of us that come out when we all hang out together, but it's definitely the group dynamic definitely kind of comes out the same way it does in the film when we all hang out.
Because I mean, at the end of any project, I mean, saying goodbye must be one of the kind of hardest parts. And
oh God, yeah.
I mean, but on this one in particular, was that a real kind of struggle to kind of have to say to everyone, right, see you later, thanks for everything?
Yeah, because I mean, especially on this, in the fact that when you're on a lot of sets, if you're not working that day, you don't come to work, and you have your free day, and you do what you like. But with this one, maybe you didn't show up right when the day started. If you had the day off, you wanted to sleep in, but by the time the wrap came around, each day everybody was on set. Everyone came to set every day. So it really was a team environment and a team effort, in the sense that even if you weren't working that day, you're still there. Everyone kind of came, and you would you'd sit off to the side, and maybe you'd talk about a scene you have coming up the next day or things like that. And it was such a great group of guys to be around. And so it definitely keep in touch more than usual.
I mean, Richard Linklater is one of the great or most important contemporary filmmakers. What's he like to collaborate with? Because his films are so unique, and can you get a sense and they're very much kind of distinctive to his kind of brand of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Do you get a sense when you're on set that this is a Richard Linklater movie?
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, I've only been on one, so I can't say that it's consistent. But I do feel like the environment that he creates, as far as things feeling effortless because you've worked through them so much in the rehearsal process and things like that. Coming into this, I think a lot of the guys, especially it being their first film for some of them, the pressure that could have existed on set, there was none of that. It was so comfortable and so laid back, almost to the point of like we felt like we are working right now. Like we do need to remember we're working. But so much of the work was put into the rehearsal process. By the time we showed up with the cameras and the costumes, like, okay, well now we need to film what we've been doing. But we as a group kind of felt like we made the movie in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, because I mean, you're still only sort of young, but at the same time, you're one of the most experienced heads on this set. That must have been quite a unique, quite kind of cool experience to have, to be one of the more kind of the older heads.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. I definitely started when I was young. I started when I was 8, and so for me, it kind of the dynamic I'm used to on set is always being the youngest. So even when a PA or somebody comes up and starts talking to you. I'm like, how old are you? Like, I'm 24. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. Okay. So yeah, I'm older. And so I'm still getting used to it, but definitely the first time that someone comes up and asks you a question like, hey, like, what do you do with this? Or like, what's going on here? I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm being asked as the experienced guy now, but you get used to it. It is fun.
And because, I mean, like you mentioned, you've been in the industry now for about sort of 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you what are your kind of ambitions in film? Do you ever see yourself getting on behind the other side of the camera, maybe sort of looking into writing, producing, directing, that side of things?
Absolutely. I've written a couple things, actively getting into producing. My brother and I are actually starting to get into looking at things to option and pick up. I finally feel like, I've been surrounded by and blessed to be working with people that I really enjoy working with and really trust. And so something I'm actively pursuing on the producing side and trying to get into writing. But directing ambitions someday at some point, absolutely down the road. Acting at this point is my focus for sure. But yeah, I've been around it long enough now that I feel comfortable that it's kind of time to go in and take on some more responsibility and be a little bit more proactive with things. So we'll see what comes around. But this was a great experience for that.
And so just finally, these are 3 words you probably haven't heard yet today. 50 Shades Darker.
Yeah.
For somebody, I've never read the books. Who the hell is Boyce, and how does he fit into this particular story?
So I'll tell you what I can tell you. Boyce Fox is an author that Dakota Johnson's character is very fond of his work, and so she's someone that he is someone that she is interested in bringing into the company. So that's about all I can say. Does
this feel a little bit like The Quiet Before the Storm? Because obviously that film, they generate so much kind of press. I mean, does this feel like you're just on the brink of kind of a sort of big, massive worldwide tour, and it's going to be quite...
Oh, God, we'll see. I think we'll probably let Jamie and Dakota take care of that, but we'll see. Who knows?
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Much
appreciated.
Much, very nice
Cheers.
to meet you. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!